What's going on, you guys? Today is Monday, October 29th, 2018. We have a lot of news to go over in today's video, but there's something also that I want to add to this video and kind of compare it to crypto's all-time highs. Kind of like a competition of who will see a breakout first. It's actually pretty interesting here. And as always, before we get into the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we can just get into the news here. Obviously, the big news this morning is the whole about 100% drop that we saw overnight. Really, if anything, that just goes to show how non-volatile the market has been. A lot of people reacted very strongly when we went from about $6,400 down to basically 6,200-ish, so a little less than a 200-point drop. Currently, we're sitting at 62.67 at the time of me making this video. However, there's still that disparity with Bitfinex, the price being 6,349, so about a little less than $100 difference there. We'll get into that a little bit in this video as well. I want to start off with this article though. So this was published on CCN by Mark Emam. So the title here is that US blockchain engineers earning as much as AI specialists. So essentially this is what Dan from Crypto Capital Venture actually recruits for. He essentially recruits engineers for the blockchain space, I believe. So I think this is a sector that's going to continue growing and going to be more and more important as time goes on. And so far, results have shown that has been the case. The fast-growing blockchain technology sector has created a high demand for talent, and this has consequently resulted in blockchain engineers being among the best remunerated in the tech sector. So all that means is that they have very high median salaries. So average pay for a blockchain engineer in the US is between $150,000 to $175,000 US dollars per year, which is comparable to what developers who specialize in other high-demand fields, such as AI, make per year, and the two fields now currently offer the highest earning specialized engineering roles, which is pretty crazy. The typical software engineer makes around 135, and again, blockchain is kind of more in between 150 to 175. And my point of covering this is really that this is just reflective of where the space is growing. I definitely think it's going to grow exponentially over the coming years. There's a reason people are getting paid top dollar for their talents in regards to their blockchain engineering skills, but also I don't think we've even seen the beginning of it yet. So we might even see a bubble in terms of how much people get paid. So people could be getting paid ridiculous amounts to be working on this tech. So the article goes on. I'm not going to cover all of it, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I'll leave a link to this as well as everything else in the description if you want to check it out. Real quick before we get into other news, I saw this cryptocurrency post by a RuneScape P2P code who said these flash crashes and sudden moons all seem like carefully planned manipulations. The pattern of crash, pump, sideways, repeat has happened at least 4 times in the last month and a half, at least for Ethereum. The pattern is very consistent. 200, 210, crashes to 185, 195, back to 205, 210. Stays there for a week or so and then repeats. Seems like market manipulation and not crazy TA and supply and demand analysis. I have absolutely no trust in the market right now. Again, guys, yeah, I think we are facing some major manipulation. And this post kind of just highlights that. And I'll leave a link to this if you guys want to read the thread. There's a lot of responses, and it was pretty upvoted here on the thread. Now, before we get into more crypto news, I did want to cover this. So this is something I saw this morning. Marijuana support grows. 2 out of 3 Americans back legalization. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's not very related to cryptocurrency, but I do want to tie it into cryptocurrency. I want to start off by saying I'm a advocate. I do think it should be legalized. I don't personally like using it. I don't personally like the effects of THC. I think CBD, which is an active ingredient in marijuana, is actually very beneficial, especially for seizures, certain types of brain cancer, potentially other cancers as well. Definitely helps with chemotherapy. So there are definitely medical uses for CBD. CBD actually does not get you high. THC is the ingredient in marijuana that actually gets you high. And again, I personally don't like that. However, I do think it should be legal for people that need those type of remedies, right, to their illnesses or to their treatments or whatever it may be. But here we have 2 out of 3 Americans back legalization. Over the past 50 years, it has grown exponentially. Here you can see a chart of it, seeing it peaked back in around 1977-ish, and then didn't reach that peak again for another almost 20 years till about 1997, 1998-ish, and you can see how exponential it's been going since then. And I do think this is a trend that's going to continue. Actually, Democratic and Republican support has been growing exponentially as well. Obviously, people in my age group are overwhelmingly in support of it. I think like over 75% of people from age 18 to 34, 35 actually support it. And actually, I think about 60% of people over 55 now support it as well. So it's not just the younger generations who support it. It's just more and more people in general that support it. Here you can see a chart of increasing Republican, Independent, and Democratic support for it over the past, this is only 18 years. So this is pretty significant here. So yeah, I do think it's a matter of time before we see it legalized federally. Maybe I want to throw this bet out there. What do you think will happen first? Legalized recreational marijuana or Bitcoin and cryptocurrency reaching its all-time highs of a market cap right around $825 billion? Honestly, it's anybody's guess because I think both of them are coming very soon. I would say within the next at least 1 to 2 years. Some of you may disagree with that marijuana assumption, but I do think that it's going to be recreationally legal. Again, it's medicinally legal, like in a large percent of states, but recreationally and federally, I do think we're going to see a big shift in the next year or two. And again, it's being taxed. Companies are making a bunch of money. The only people that don't want to see it succeed are pharmaceutical companies who want to sell you the pills that don't do as good of a job as doing what they need to do medically for people as marijuana does, or at least CBD. Again, it doesn't even get you high, so you can extract the CBD from it and you won't have the effects of it, which to many people are unpleasant. I'm sure some of you guys probably do like it. Like I said, I'm not that big of a fan of it, but I do think people should have the option, especially since we already have alcohol as an option for like the past 90 years, ever since Prohibition ended. I think it's ridiculous that cannabis has not been legal as well. But yeah, that's kind of the point of covering this. Do you guys think Bitcoin will reach all-time highs first, or do you think marijuana will be legalized federally in the US first? Bitstamp was acquired by a subsidiary of the Korean gaming development firm Nexon for a rumored $400 million in an all-cash deal. The exchange based in Luxembourg is acquired by NXMH, a Belgium-based investment firm, a subsidiary of NXC, which is a $10 billion game development firm based out of South Korea. Again, we see top players in the space: South Korea, Japan, the US, basically the big three right now. It's cool here. Bitstamp was one of the earliest crypto exchanges started by Neju from his basement with just €1,000. The company has raised a total of $14 million from prominent investors like Pantera Capital. We can end with this quote here. Bitstamp has been regularly approached by suitors for quite some time. The reason why we finally decided to sell the company is a combination of the quality of the buyer, quality of the offer, and the fact that the industry is at a point where consolidation makes sense. A major factor in agreeing to the sale is that the mission, leadership, and vision of the company remains the same. This article published on Cointelegraph by Mary Hewlett: Crypto markets see stirring of volatility as major coins tip into the red. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we are down a few percent on some of the top coins here. Bitcoin's trading slightly above 6,300 at the time of this being recorded. I like this statement here, and this is kind of the reason I'm covering this, is that volatility and the lack thereof had become a staple on crypto Twitter, with prominent crypto commenters quick to underscore Bitcoin's new quasi-stablecoin status. Basically, all that means is that Bitcoin and crypto has not been moving very much and has actually been less volatile than traditional stock markets as of late. Senior market analyst Maddie Greenspan from eToro joked on October 24th, saying, "Hey, stock jocks, tell me again how Bitcoin isn't a stable store of wealth due to extreme volatility." And yeah, I don't think there's anything really to comment or get too upset about. It was a very small move. The fact that like $100 or $200 change in Bitcoin's price in an hour or two is significant news is just really indicative of how stable the market has been. So this article published on Coindesk.com just kind of highlights, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this is something I've been covering for a while. It's published by Michael J. Casey. Institutions are coming for your crypto. Basically talks about institutions entering crypto. Talks about Fidelity, talks about Bakkt, brought on by the ICE, which owns New York Stock Exchange, and really just institutions getting into the space. And yeah, I'll leave a link to this if you guys want to read the entire article. Basically just what I've been kind of covering the same idea for a few weeks now. And interestingly enough, this was a day or two ago, the Canadian Bitcoin exchange was hacked, saying that all of their funds are gone. A small Bitcoin exchange based in Alberta, Canada has gone offline before their Twitter page went offline as well. Maple Change had announced on Twitter that they had no more funds to pay anyone back. They only had roughly, I think, 2,000 followers on Twitter. By contrast, Coinbase has over 1 million. Even smaller exchanges, such as CSEX, have nearly 100,000. I don't know, a lot of people are fearing an exit scam, similar kind of what happened to Mt. Gox. However, Mt. Gox seemingly so far has handled it better than what Maple Change has been handling it. So a lot of people think it might be a scam. So yeah, again, just highlighting the fact that space is just so new. Not saying this is a scam, but it possibly could be. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But if you're Canadian and if you use this exchange, please leave a comment. I would love to hear firsthand experience of it. But yeah, that'll be it for today's video, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.